Alright guys, so here we are back again for week 5, chapter 5 videos, and the first thing we're going to do is case 1. So we just completed case 3 of week 4. So when I start case 1 of week 5, the first thing I need to do is I need to change my company name, and a little tip is you can just click on it here and it takes you right to it. Company name is going to be case 01, student's name, save, exit out of that. So I know I'm working on case 1, and the instructions for case 1 says add some operating activities, purchases, credit card charges, and cash payments to your company. Based on what you learned in the text using the sample company, you add the following transactions to your company. Transaction 1 says add a new vendor, Stewart surfboards. So for a new vendor, I'm going to go to expenses, vendors, and then I'm going to go to new vendor. The company I'm going to put in is Stewart Surfboards. Now look at this. It is already searching down in Bradstreet for the answer. Now mine isn't on there anywhere, so I'm going to click off of that. It's going to put the name right here, and I'm going to go down to the address. That address is going to be in the book 2102. El Camino, if I can spell. And that is in San Clemente, California, with a zip code of 92672. 672. Yep. All right. So my vendor says under number 1 that the term is going to be net 30. So the next thing I need to do is I need to go to terms over here, and I need to go to the drop down menu. And I do have a net 30 already, so I just select it. Now if I wouldn't have one, I would just go to the little plus, add one, add new right there, and create it. But I already have it, so I just select it there, and then I have the address, I have the name, I can hit save. So number 1 is done. Number 2 says add a new vendor, Village Travel. So new vendor, company name is Village Travel. Yep, and click off of that so it doesn't try to save anything. The address is going to be 100 South El Camino, Rio San Clemente, California, and the zip code is 292672. Terms for number 2 is due upon receipt. So let's see if I have one in the terms. Due upon receipt, I have one, so I'm going to select it. All right, number 2 looks like it's done, and we'll click save. Number 3 says add another new vendor, Office Depot. New vendor, company name is Office Depot. And this Office Depot is going to be based out of San Diego, California, 101. So I'm going to do address 101 Main Street, San Diego, California, 92600. And number 3 says the terms are due upon receipt. So go to terms, drop down menu, due upon receipt. All right, go to save. Number 3 is done. Number 4 says add a new account. Category is credit cards, detail type is credit card, name is Visa. So to go to add a new account, I'm going to go to accounting, chart of accounts. And new account type is a credit card. Detail type is credit card. Name is Visa. And it has everything capitalized, so I'll leave it capitalized. Doesn't say that it has a beginning balance. So I'm going to save. Notice I didn't name that Visa 1. I didn't name it Visa 1 because I have a funny feeling that our balances aren't going to be big enough to substantiate some charges. So we're going to throw it all into one because it didn't necessarily tell us to create a second one yet. Number 5 says add a new account, and it wants us to add other current assets and then other current assets and supplies asset. So new, and it's going to be other current asset. It's going to be other current asset, and the name is going to be supplies asset. All right, and does it say there's a current balance? Nope, it does not say there's a current balance. Save and close. So now on 6, it says add a new tracked product. So to add a new tracked product, I go to sales, products and services, and the name description, California Nose Rider. California Nose Rider. Is it new inventoried item? California Nose Rider. Initial quantity on hand is 0. Inventory asset account. Price is $3,200. Cost is $17. Price $3,200. Cost is $1,700. Income account is sales. Expense is cost of goods sales. Income is sales. Cost of goods sales. Now, this is number 6. It does not tell us whether it is taxable or not. And it doesn't tell us the date that this income is on, on hand. Now, if I put today's date on it, 2009, whatever it is, 2018, then I can add inventory before that date. So I'm going to make this the first day of the year. So it's going to be 1-1-18. And it wants 2018. There we go. And it also wants a 0 before the 1s. How could I forget? And that'll satisfy that. Now, the only thing up here we got to do left is unclicked is taxable, because it is not, because case 1 is not taxable. California Nose Rider, 0 inventory as of the 1st of the year. And where should we go to save and close? That was number 6. Number 7 says add a new tracked product. So go back to new, inventory. Its name and description is 808. So that is literally the name, 808. And initial quantity on hand is 10. 0, excuse me. Initial quantity on hand is 0. I don't know where I got 10. So there's 0 on hand as of 01-01-2018. Now, I hope you guys understand why we need to make this January 1st of 2018. It's because if we would use today's current date or any other thing else, we can't add inventory to this if the account wasn't even opened previously to adding the inventory to it. So we have the as of date. It says on number 7 that the asset account is inventory asset, which we have that. It says the price is $2,700. Price $2,700, and the cost is $1,500. Cost $1,500. The income account is sales. And the expense account is cost of goods sold. It is not taxable. And I should be able to save. 10 says, record a new purchase order for products on 1-2-18. So if we would use today's current date, 9/20 or 9/11, it's 9/11/2018, we wouldn't be able to do a purchase order for this product because the product wouldn't exist on 1/2/18. So that's why we needed to use the first day of the year. So keep in mind, if you don't put the right date in, you won't be able to add any inventory to it. So to record a new purchase order, I'm going to go to this little plus or create button, and I'm going to look for a purchase order. It's right here in the second column. I'm going to click on it, and it's as of 1/2/18. So purchase order date 1/2/18, and the vendor is Channel Islands. Vendor Channel Islands. Product is 1. Product 1 is Fred Rubble. Good old Fred Rubble. Quantity is 5. Product 2 is the Rook. Quantity is 4. 3 is the Water Hog. Finding the Water Hog. Quantity is 1. Awesome. So that's it for the purchase order. If you were having it shipped to multiple addresses, you'd do the ship to right here, ship via. If you're going to put in the shipping instructions versus ground or overnight or something like that, this is the amount that you're going to create this purchase order for, and you're just going to save it right there. You don't want to save and send unless you have an email address up here that you can send it with. So that's the first purchase order, number 8. Number 9, it says record a new purchase order for the products on 1/3/18. So I'm going to exit out there of that, create, and it's going to be a purchase order. The date is going to be as of 1/3. Change that to 3. Vendor is Stewart Surfboards. I'm just pulling this information from the book with number 9. The product 1 is 808. Drop down menu, 808. There's 2. Product 2 is California Nose Rider. Quantity is 1. And that's it. I hid that. Or I deleted that. I don't know what I just did. I guess I deleted it because I took my hands off of it. But you would think that I couldn't delete it because I still have a balance up here. So something to keep in mind. I put that information under product and services. I should be putting this under account details. Or excuse me, shouldn't be putting this under account details. I need to make sure I put it under item details. These are the items that I'm purchasing. You can close this if you want to so it doesn't get stuck. So you don't lose track where you are. But here, you would have to put like what you're going to be expensing it to. These are all expenses on here. But we don't do anything with that. We're only going to be purchasing the item, right, for $4,700, and then we can just click Save. Number 10 on case 1 says record a new bill based on purchase order number 1001 on 1/5/18. So if I want to do a new bill, I want to make sure I'm exit out of here. I'm going to go to Create, and then Bill. It's under Vendors. And I'm going to choose the vendor. And the vendor is Channel Islands. And over here on the right, my purchase orders pop up. So as long as I have a purchase order to choose from, I can just add this to my bill. So this was my purchase order. It was purchase order 1001. So I can just click add, and it'll add it down here to my item details. All right, that's the way you always want to do it. And I'm paying this on, the bill date is the 5th. So I change that to the 5th. Net 15 is the due terms on the payment terms, and I don't have a net 15. So if I don't have a term for the due date, I need to go in the drop-down menu, click Add New, and I'm going to call it Net 15, and due and fixed number of days, easy, 15. And click Save. So I have Net 15 selected now. All items ordered were received. Looks good. $5,100. We're going to hit Save. And that just created a bill for $5,100 now for me to be able to pay later. Number 11 says, record a new bill without a purchase order on 1/8 of 18. So I'm going to do the same thing again, except this time I'm not going to have a purchase order to be able to just be able to click and have all my information transferred over there to the bill. So create a bill. The date is 1/8 of 2018. There's a new vendor, and it's San Diego Gas and Electric. Drop down menu. I do not have San Diego Gas and Electric here, so I'm going to go to Add New. Vendor name, I'm going to type it in here. Lost my place. Yes. Oh my gosh. You can tell it's late. And Electric. We're going to click and see. Terms is net 15. So I want to go into details right here, and it'll bring me up to my terms. And the terms is net 15. So I'm going to click on this drop down menu and click on net 15. And the account is utilities. So after I get that net 15, I can just hit save, because that's only taking me my vendor information. 1/8, due 15 days from now, which is the 23rd. My first bill. So if I'm paying a bill for something right now, it's not for inventory, I want to be selecting an account. My account, it says right here, is utilities. So I'm going to slide down until I find utilities. You should already have it. It's listed as an expense right there. I select it. And if I had a certain month that I'm paying these bills for, I would put the description, put that right here in the description. But it's for $145. So the amount is $145. Sorry, I clicked off of it. $145. And I believe that's all it tells me. Yep, that's all it tells me. So I have my vendor, I have the terms, I have the account that I paid the bill for with the amount, and I can just save. It tells me that the bill's been saved. Number 12 of case 1 says record a new bill without a purchase order on 1/9 of 18. So create again, bill. And if I'm creating without a purchase order, I just go ahead and start putting in all the information. 1/9 of 18 is the date, bill date. 1/9 of 18 is there. New vendor is Prime Properties. So I'm going to go to vendor, add new. Prime Properties. Yep. And the term is net 15. So I go to details, so I can get up my terms right here. I click on the drop down, net 15, save. Okay. And then account 1 is rent or lease. So my first account, drop down menu, and it's going to be looking for rent or lease. Right there's rent or lease. It's an expense. I'm going to click on it. And the amount is $2,500. $2,500. My second account is prepaid expense in the amount of $5,000. Second account, drop down menu, prepaid expense. Now, here's something. Is prepaid expense a debit or a credit? Is it an expense? No, prepaid expense is an asset. So I'm going to come down here to other current assets and click on prepaid expense. Prepaid expense in the amount of $5,000. All right, rent, prepaid expense, $2,500 and $5,000. So that's it. Terms net 15. I got net 15 right there. Prime properties, good to save. Been saved. I'm going to exit. All right, number 13 says pay all bills due to Channel Islands on 1/19/18. So to do that, I'm going to go to the create or plus sign button and pay all bills. So I'm going to go to pay bills. It's under vendors. And I'm going to do it by looking at this payee. Now, we don't have multiple pages, so I don't need to filter them, but I could if I wanted to. We just have them listed in the top, here on top, Channel Islands, as far as bills. So it says pay all bills due to Channel Islands on 1/19 using the checking account and starting with check number 1001. So I'm going to pay this based on 1/19. So I'm going to take this out, 1/19/18. Check number 1001. It's a little bit important. And checking account. So if I was going to do case 2, this would be my checking account 2. If I was going to do case 3, this would be checking account 3. Unless I didn't use any separation in checking accounts and they're all under checking, I would make sure I change this each time depending on what case I'm on. So I'm going to select the payees for Channel Island. There's just 2 there. And it wants me to pay all of them. So after I do that, I'm going to click save and print, right? Print is going to print the checks. So I don't need to print the checks. I'm going to click this box right here, and I'm going to just click save. That way I don't have to worry about selecting a check type and print sample and view print paper samples. I'm just going to put that finish with the process. So it tells me that, one check was selected and cut for $9,600. That was the $5,000 and the 2 checks for Island, excuse me, total up to $9,600. I have a balance in my checking account of $16,500. And I can go into the next one. 14 says record a credit card charge on 1/10/18. So a credit card charge, I go to the create button. And I'm going to go to what? Can you guess it? Credit is not credit cards. It's going to be just credit cards. Delayed charge, credit memo, receive payment, expense, check, bill, pay bills. All right. So there's no longer a credit card on here, vendor credit, purchase order, so it's going to be an expense. And maybe that was me thinking that there was going to be a credit card on here. But so whenever I am going to record a credit card charge on 1/19 to a vendor, I'm going to use expense. And this is going to be village travel. So I select village travel from the vendor. It is not a checking account, it is a Visa card, credit card. So I have that selected. 1/10/18 is the date. Change that to 110.18. And the amount is $1,800. The account is travel. So under account, I'm going to click right here, drop down, and I'm going to find travel. There's travel. Travel expense. Travel, $1,800. There we go. And we should be able to save. And we're going to go to 15. It says record a check on 111.18, number 1002. All right, so if we're going to record a check, we're going to create check. This brings our checkbook. The payee is Office Depot. Checking account 1. Payment date is 1/11. And check number is 1002. And when I select print later, it'll ask me then what check numbers I want to do. I do print later so that it doesn't prompt me to print now. But if I do that, then it doesn't show my check numbers whenever I do the transactions. So I'm going to unclick this print later. I'm going to put my check number in there, 1002, vendor's Office Depot. The amount is $375, and the account is supplies asset. So account, drop down menu. I'm going to look for supplies asset. It's in alphabetical order. And I have supplies, and it's a supplies asset. So go down to the next one. It's a other current asset. So make sure you select the right account. It's not the expense account. It's the other current asset account. And then the amount is $375. That's even. Nope, I clicked off of it. And $375. Check number. Right checking account. Right date. Save and new. So it saved that check. All right, number 16. Number 16, it says, open up your previously customized report named trial balance 131.18. If a cache or accrual message appears, just close the message. Your report should look like this. Your report will not look like that. But what this means is we're done. So there's only 15 steps in case 1, which is a lot of steps. A lot more work than what you've had in the previous week, so make sure you don't take a lot of wait too long to do it. But now's the time where you need to print off your reports for case 1. So there's 2 reports that you need for case 1, and if you did what I suggested in previous videos, is you created custom reports. So if I go to reporting now, and I go to case 1 trial balance and case 1 transaction detail of accounts right here, then I can just click on these and they will pop up. So trial balance case 1, I'm going to click on it, and this is what I get. Now you'll notice this is technically case 1, and it says case 1 here. This says case 3 probably because whenever I saved the report, it was on case 3 that I saved it. So to get this to save case 1, I literally just click in here twice and change it to 1 instead of 3. Click off of it, and I'm good to go. So this is case 1 trial balance as of December 30th, 2018, which is all good. I have the same balance as what the book has. This will happen for case 1, but case 2 and case 3 will be off because it gets cumulative as you go in years. And right now we're just on 2018. In case 2 we do 2018, 2019. In case 3 we do 2018, 19, and 20. So it looks right now, and I will zoom in so you guys can see what those answers are. Like I said, it matches the book spot on. You can pause it if you need to. You're going to click here, export as a PDF, pops it up, save as PDF. It just saved my PDF. I'm going to print that for me and save and upload that to Canvas for your grade. That's your first part. The second part is your other report. So if I go back to report list at the top left, I get back to my customized reports, trial balance, not trial balance, but transaction detail by account, case 1, and I get the correct dates up here automatically, which is nice. I'm going to change this name here to case 1 so that whenever I save it or print it off, it looks right. These are all the transactions for the case. Now, this is not just case 1 week 5. This is case 1 week 3, case 1 week 4, case 1 week 5. So all of these are showing up together. That's why it's important to at least separate them by year so that you don't have 80 transactions that you're going through and looking to make sure they're right. Now, the reason why this is important, and it's important for you to fix all of your mistakes at the end of every week, is because these transactions should all be right. Some of these transactions are from case 3, some from case 4, but they all should be right. So we grade all of them, right? So however many points the assignment's worth generally, and then however many of these transactions there are. Here's one transaction, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You can see how it works. Generally, you take how many points it's worth and divide it by how many of these there are, how many transactions there are, and that's how many points each transaction is worth. So in the beginning, one transaction is worth maybe 2 points. By the end, one transaction is worth a third of a point or a fourth of a point. And that works great for us because generally the further you go along in the course, the more problems you have because you didn't take care of things that happened earlier on. All right, but here it is. So I'm going to do my PDF, export to PDF. And when it comes up, save as PDF. And this is where you would save to your desktop and upload to Canvas for grading. But I'm going to hold right here so that you guys can see it and compare your numbers to it. You guys can always pause the video and check. There you go. So this is week 5, case 1. And if you guys have any questions, shoot me an email. You think I did anything wrong? Shoot me a text and let me know, and we'll take a look at it. All right, guys, have a good one.